in the U.S. view women as transactions. I took a class with the world's expert on human relationships. Men view sex as a transaction. They view relationships as a transaction. And if you found a partner that doesn't view, that is okay. But the majority of men out there view sex, relationship, and family as a transaction. What they can get out of it, what you can give them. And I'm not saying women don't do that, because they sure do. But there seems to be a high... I read somewhere that narcissism affects more men than women in the world. Women have more anxiety and are more likely to develop things like, borderline personality disorder than men. And there's something about narcissism that men, to feel okay, safe, and manly, they have to crush and humiliate women. And I've met some decent guys. They're out there. I don't think it's worth the risk to find them, based on several coworkers and lady friends I've had. But if you want to risk your life and find it, okay. But, it's your life. I've just known too many women that have been killed or are hiding or being stalked currently that it's just not worth it for me. And I've had men say, your standards are too high. And then I say, well, my coworkers wasn't high enough, even though it's not her fault she got harmed at all. I personally think people need to raise their standards. Because I've seen the TV show You, and most women do not have high enough standards. And that's just living in the world where women aren't encouraged to have boundaries or high standards. Women are so afraid to say no or to not give their phone number. They're afraid. And there's nothing wrong with being afraid. Being afraid is smart. Women who know better and know how the world works are afraid. And fear is a valuable emotion. But our society does little to nothing, depending on which part, where you are, what religion, how patriarchal, archaic environment you're in, or the opposite, which is great. Religion does an amazing, insidious job of teaching women their crap and deserve nothing. And I read a quote somewhere, I think it was in a movie. Women accept the love they think they deserve. I think that was The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Women accept the love they think they deserve. Which is why there's a lot of women in the world. And I'm not talking about domestic violence or abusive scenarios. That's a completely different issue. I believe the majority of women in America put up with crappy people because they've never had people tell them they deserve better. They model their life after how their parents lived their life. And their parents didn't have good partners. They don't know what a good partner looks like. They haven't a clue. And our society doesn't do much with giving them a clue. We're taught to want something that isn't good for us. Because the majority of TV shows and relationships are toxic. There's very few relationships on television that are green flags. You look at the TV show Friends. Only one relationship that I remember, a romantic relationship. I think the only healthy, romantic, long-term relationship on Friends was Monica and Chandler's. When television and movies doesn't even give us examples of healthy, consistent relationships in our entertainment, how can we expect women to want something that's never shown or seldomly to never on television? Women don't think they deserve better. They don't think that there's better out there. They don't even have a clue what better is.